We start with this like beautiful slow intro melody, right? So it's strings D, E, F, D. Okay, flute comes in. Oh my gosh. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba. Okay. At a technical level, I think of this as a 2-2-4. Does it make sense? Maybe, maybe not. But it's like you can call it 1-1-2, but 2-2-4 sounds way easier to process for me. So you got one phrase, and then something that like a whole longer phrase that connects it, right? So it's just a reduced version of 2-2-4, right? And the cool part, as I keep on telling everybody, rests are a special ingredient too. Like doing nothing itself is an ingredient. You can start off with a rest. How boring would it have been to actually, again, the question, what if Jeremy Soule did something else? What if he actually had started the melody on beat one, like he did in the intro? Boring. Let's forget about that track. No, he did a rest here. Rest. Bada 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 ba. That's the first two bar phrase. Next two, even though it's one, next two bar phrase. Bada 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 ba, going higher, right? So there is a contour that is in the skeleton that is like built into this melody. Then we have our four bars, which is reduced here, so it's two. Rest. Bada 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 ba, bada ba, 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 ba. So evocative, even if this was like the only thing I talked about for the character theme class, which is not going to be the case. I'm going to have more stuff to stop. But even if this, this is such a amazing masterclass in melodic development and using the tools that everybody at this point knows how to use at such a high artistical level. Simple tools, rhythm, contrast is built in. Long notes versus short notes, right? And even in the short note melody, it's look at the balance. You got ba da ba da ba da ba. You got the whole notes to offset the short notes, right? You want that. And then just having enough intrigue to connect that to the next part of the melody via by not ending it, because rest da ba da ba da ba. That's your phrase, but rest ba da ba da ba, rest ba da ba da da, and meander, 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 right? And throw off the listener. That is what creates intrigue in this game because you're now like you sort of take a step in, you take a step further, you take a step more, and you are suddenly lost, and you find your way in this maze of artifacts, right? That's the story that Jeremy Soule is crafting in this particular track at this particular moment in the game. And we're only, mind you, like 8 bars in. All that was just the introduction, 4 bar introduction, and then the first 4 bars of the A melody. And that's what I mean. In music school, if this was like music class, we would talk about the rhythm is indicating that this is a whole note and then a blah blah blah. And we're no, this is like, this is storytelling. They don't teach you storytelling in college. Not like no, they don't. They don't. I've been there. Um, next part, okay. Next melody is so difficult to teach because because it's just magic. Melodies are magical. That's the reason. So, but that's to say that, the modes of development, it does not operate strict like solely, just, at a structural level. It can operate at a melodic level too. And so we're going to look at the examples here. Um, now that we have had the first 4 measures of the A melody, let's look at the right here. The next part, the next 8 bars. Meandering, and back again. Okay, so this is sort of a slow version of bada 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 bum, sort of like I'm inquisitively venturing out because I'm a little bit determined to get further into this maze. Da bum, but so it's a little bit slower now. Bum bum ba bum. I'm a little bit scared, but I am going to go on, right? Oh my stunning moment, guys. This part should give you guys shivers if again, I part of my job is to teach you guys how to listen properly. Um, this is something listening, not everybody knows how to listen. They can listen, some people listen to things at like theory level, or, and that's great too, so that's fantastic. But and some people just listen to at like a passive level, but I want you guys to listen at an artistic level and a composer's level. Um, Modulation, and which we will get to. Right here is the moment we change keys because originally we were centered in, I don't know, this is E minor, I believe. Yeah, E Dorian or something. I don't know the mode. It's probably Dorian. Yeah, let me, I think it's E Dorian. So again, tying in with the idea of Greek, right? Using the modes and not just major and minor, because in the Greek, in ancient Greece, they had all these modes, right? So, seven, in fact, which we'll talk about, touch upon today. Um, but right here, but modulation, key change is used here as a way of getting us into there's a level of unexpectedness. Again, it's a very simple tool, but the way Jeremy Soule is using it, very simple too. It's like you think of it as like a master chef. Like if you're gonna, you making a sandwich versus Jeremy Soule making a sandwich is gonna be very different, because they're masters of their trade. Um, I mean, I'm sure your sandwiches are gonna be very tasty, now that, I mean, by the end of the program. But for someone who's been doing it for a while, um, you really learn to use these tools. So modulation going down to what is now, I believe, is, I don't know, probably C minor. Ba 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 ba. So it's third down or something. So I should figure that out later. But modulate, but the point is modulation. We sort of an A melody, and then quote unquote, you can call this a B melody if you want to be really strict. Um, right? Maybe. And then you have your A prime. So your original A melody now transposed down. It's sort of like just as I was setting, sort of getting my footing, ba 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 ba. I am now suddenly the doors are opened. Literally, there's a secret passage, and it is both simultaneously recognizable because I literally just walked through that corridor like the moment I stepped out of the the long notes. I'm now the passage has opened and I'm in a new corridor right here. And it is both new and mysterious yet familiar because I just heard that, right? Oh gosh. Same thing, same thing, but the moment of sort of what is this? Is it a resolution? Is it a contrasting section? What is this? It is now sh shifting keys back up to whatever key it is. Well, we'll do the math later, but it's going back up now. This is sort of now I kind of see where like I know my way around. This is where the secrets are. This is where the secrets of Evermore are. I've now found my thing. Whether maybe I'm hunting for like I don't know, a scroll or like some sort of like key or something or a totem. I've located, and this is sort of a mini climax of sorts here. long note. It's sort of like realization sets in here. Like I have uncovered the part of the secret of this part of the level, the maze. And now I'm sort of like deeper into now. I now understand what I saw in the A measures in the four measures of A right there. Ba 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 ba. And now it feels like a sequence now. It's like chaining, it's like the logic and the reasoning is setting in measures 21 and 22. It's like it's clicking now. It's clicking. It's like a mini victory now. And wow, stunning moment and beauty right here. Just as I understand what's going on, the melody floats. So what, I don't under, I haven't played this game, but I'm assuming at this part, I don't think this is necessarily the part, the climax of the game where everything solves, but it's sort of like in this track and in this level now, you uncover parts of the mystery. You're not getting everything, but you do get solve parts of the mystery. And that once and the part where you get it is right here, where the chain of reasoning, you know, comes out. You get it. Things start clicking because we hear that same melodic pattern that we heard before. Some may call that a figuration, and it starts chaining, and then now leads into now you sort of let that go onto the next journey. So you figured out the mystery you were looking for in this level, and you just let it sort. It is both a moment of victory for you in this as a character here, and also a moment of letting go because it's like I already got my thing. I'm gonna move on and made it my way out and I'm going to the next stage and the next part of this maze or temple, right? And so and then it segues back, so you are telling a story that loops in this track. But you have a hint of happiness. Thus far, this whole track has been pretty moody. It's like mysterious and like, what's going on. And it's like the part, and this ties in the technique with the artistry. And when I say technique, guys, to people, me included, technique sounds very fancy, very respectable and cool. It's like, you get your graduation cap on and you're like you got your technique, right? But technique can be something as simple as be very basic stuff, like putting your melodies high versus low, that is technique. Using long notes, that is technique, right? And so right here, um, the cool part about this type of writing too is that it is not predictable. It is so easy, especially, in terms of, chiptune writing and all that, and the way I've been teaching, to land on the points, a very clear-cut stuff. This is one of those instances where it's more of a, as with today's lecture, free flow. There's built certain aspects of the melody that is more built in. Yeah, I know that. But does it neatly fall into like parallel phrase and, question, answer? In bits, yes, completely. I don't know, maybe not. And so this is more of a free flow melody. Nothing wrong with free flow melody. We want both structure and free flow and rambles for that matter. So um that's to say, this part here, we got a moment of like victory. It's the brightest part of the track. In fact, I was talking about climactic points, in day one of melody writing here, right? Um, this is not necessarily, the one instance where we get E natural here, which is the high. Oh, no, we do. This is the highest part. F, G. This is a high G. So we touch upon the E here, right? We touch upon the E here. It's sort of like we're close, but the highest part is actually in this part at least, it is C, D, E, F, G. And so, and we settle on it. So we know that that's a climactic part, you know. So again, where are your climaxes, right? Depends on the type of story you're telling. You know, sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's later, sometimes it's like two-thirds way to the track. Sometimes it's like, I don't know, let's do them at 24 out of 26. That's like the last like 5% of, you know, maybe like last 10% of the track, right? And there 3 out of 26 is like, you know, the math. Let me do the math. I know we like numbers, 3 out of 26. Okay, 11%. Okay, so this is like the last 11% is where the climax is because this is the type of story we're telling. It's like a movie, you know, not all movies have their climaxes placed on like two-thirds of the way things. Sometimes, you know, there's some movies I'm sure it's like halfway through. It's like everything is just following action after the second half of the movie. Is that a good story? I don't know, but everybody's story is different. So here, and then we have the actual highest part. Okay, I know. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it seems to me this is the high part though. I don't really trust. Oh, this is an arrangement. That's why, guys. I was thinking AVA means that this is play an octave higher, is what AVA means, octave. It means it stands for ottava. So I thought, well, this is the highest part. Well, that's because it's a piano arrangement. So you guys gotta like ignore some of the things that they're doing as piano arrangers here. So